A very strong blind pick. It's going to be the Tristana down there, Speak of the Devil, for Sneaky, so Sven will have a pretty nice lane matchup there. And this does give pretty good opportunity for TSM to get the double solo lane counter pick. You can pick Bjergsen's mid laner right here. You already know that it's going to be the Azir, so there's Bjergsen's answer. Then it sets them up. It has to be a blind top laner for Licorice. Haunter can also counterpick that as the last pick in the second round, so definitely some potential there for TSM to get solo lane advantages, which is traditionally where a lot of their strength has come from.
And that feels great in the draft, being able to get that edge just by being set up for that opportunity by what your opponents have decided, how they've decided, I should say, to play this one out. Let's see how the teams want to address the second part of the bans here. Cloud9 still needing to pick top laner and support. TSM still needing to pick top laner and support. So expect, of course, those bans to be focused only on those two roles. TSM getting rid of the Gnar.
Yeah, Gnar is a great blind pick. Wouldn't be surprised to see TSM, if they think Licorice will play it, also ban out the Scion, ban out what is probably two of the absolute safest blind picks, and then make it so Haunter really can have an advantageous 1v1. Some people are going to have concerns about things like Cho'Gath there as well. I'm of the opinion that Cho'Gath can be answered pretty well by a Trundle, but that is kind of dependent on how you want to actually play out the game, what sort of a style Haunter wants to go for. It's also worth noting that Alistar is available here still for Smoothie or for Mithy. It has been Smoothie's most successful and most played champion this split. He has been extremely dominant, such a fantastic roamer on that champion, and TSM as a result is going to take it away.
The champion just synergizes so well with the way Smoothie plays League of Legends, the way he facilitates his team doing what they need to do to bring those win conditions online. Not surprised to see TSM remove that one here at all. One more ban to go for Cloud9, though, before we get back into the picks and see how TSM wants to start off this second half of the draft. And it looks like Cloud9 are going to go ahead and bring themselves yet another support ban in there, getting rid of the TK.
Yeah, so Tahm Kench, the Alistar, the Braum, all off the table there. So a lot of tank support bans. There are still other options, obviously, here. Things like the Taric can be brought out, but those are a lot of the most played champions that are now not available there for Mithy. He has brought out Rakan once, but you're not going to see that with Zygon, and going to have to find out what his answer is going to be.
Okay.
The Thresh, and this gives Smoothie an opportunity to actually pick more heavily for lane here with something like a Morgana. Perhaps we've been seeing more Morgana, and is a pretty good lane answer there to the Thresh. Obviously, he could just go for something a bit more standard, like the Taric, if you want more kind of a tanky answer. Blitz, we have seen him picking a Thresh before, and does offer a lot of playmaking, and this is a very light team on frontline for C9, so it's looking like it's just going to be the Blitz.
Well, a couple more seconds before we see that lock-in or not. And there you go, Blitzcrank. Locked in for Smoothie and Cloud9. Who needs a front line? They're just going to look to pick all the time, find those opportunities, catch people out of position.
I mean, there's a lot of confidence to pick that Blitz for Smoothie, but he knows he can pull it off. Roaming champion. It's also a pretty nice pick specifically into TSM's comp here when you see two relatively low mobility carries. This is not an Ezreal, this is not an Azir, someone who really has those move blocks who can dodge away. It's a Varus and a Syndra who are going to be pretty susceptible. Shen will be the answer as the blind pick. That's going to give them some more playmaking. You can stand united in on top of the Kazakhs if he is initiating on the Blitzcrank, if he is initiating, even, the Tristana and the Azir can go forward, so a lot of options there. We're going to have to find out what Haunter's answer will be. Not expecting it to be the Volibear, even though it is actually pretty strong on 8.4. We'll have to see if he's going to be willing to lock it in. The Scion would make a lot of sense as it's pretty rare to see it this far down in the draft, but this is not what I would consider a lane counter by any means. I think Shen can actually match up pretty well against the Scion. Scion is a very strong team fighter, though. Does obviously build pretty naturally into things like the Banner of Command that people are really prioritizing on this patch, and it's honestly just such a pain to deal with because he's so tanky, has such high base stats, and really tough to push out a lane in any matchup.
I mean, the front line on TSM's composition this game, when you've got Sejuani and Scion as those two big meatballs in front of the carries, there's a lot on Smoothie this game to make sure those pulls find the right targets. If you bring Sejuani and Scion into the entirety of the team, you're just doing them a favor.
Yeah, certainly so, unless you are ahead, right? And if you are very ahead, sometimes hooking in the tank is all you need to do because then you can focus them down. But definitely a more standard type composition here from TSM. Two very strong tanks. The Thresh is kind of a pseudo tank. Really only one pure tank on the side of C9. And, Kazakhs could have a lot of trouble getting involved in these sorts of fights with Thresh there to peel, with the Flay, with the knockbacks from Bjergsen on the Syndra, as well as two tanks to get through.
But Svenskeren, though, on this Kha'Zix, I mean, with the removal of Tracker's Knife, with that less vision, as you standard knighted onto the Kha'Zix, looking to make the move. Shurima shuffle onto 2. TSM is in some trouble. Cloud9's making it a double, baby, and they are on the board. First blood over to C9 in style.
That was so well executed by C9. Perfect timing as the main wave is crashing. 5-man bot. The beautiful Shurima shuffle there from Jensen. They get 2 kills. They will get the first turret, and while they're losing some gold in the solo lanes here, this was such a good play.
Cloud9 decides to go for that opportunity, and they make it sing. Very well orchestrated by the entirety of the team. Like you said, you're losing some damage, but at the cost of a play like this, you can take a couple hits on your turrets.
I mean, this is just beautiful. Right in, Jensen, Svenskeren. You see how Svenskeren is going not towards his opponents, but going behind his opponents, knowing that the Shen is going to come through. Only way that they get out is if they get behind the Kha'Zix. He cuts them off. Jensen there for the Shurima shuffle, pushing them in.
You can get yourself to that point where Blitz and Kha'Zix together roaming around the map, a force to be reckoned with.
Definitely so, and Kha'Zix up here on the top side of the map, so Sven, you know, looking to shut down any potential ganks, wants to be in position for a counter gank, and the hook in.
All right, there you go. Smoothie starting things off. Mithy might be in some trouble here. Barely going to be walking away. A little bit more damage. Might be able to do it, but it's Smoothie who goes down to Sven. It's 1 for 1, but TSM will still be able to find the moves 2 versus 3.
Yeah, nicely done there. Trading kills in the 2 versus 3. Really good job by Sven and Mithy holding Smoothie in turret range for so long, pulling him in there and able to kind of trade back 1 kill, but it's Sven who picks up the kill for TSM, so they're going to be feeling pretty happy about where the gold was allocated after that fight.
Well done by TSM handling that dive, but at the same time, you got to look at Cloud9 and applaud them for wanting to continue to apply that pressure. They land the hook onto Mithy. They still want to make those plays, and that's what I want to see from both teams in one of these matches that can mean so much as a win for either one.
Exactly.
8 weeks into the split.
And it's aggressive play you want to see. With Blitz and Kha'Zix, you don't want to be sitting back, but look at this. The hook was actually landed on Smoothie as he hits it onto Mithy. The box of Flay back in, and the snipe there is from Sven, and that is the red smite.
A difficult job. Svenskeren finding
He's
himself caught out. Bjergsen just deletes him.
Hit him with the gameplay. The Syndra, haven't seen that one in a while. Stacking orbs, and he must have just known he was coming. Hits him with the Scatter of the Week out of Invis, it looked like, and just a clean 100-0 pretty much. Sven just got deleted.
That was a great read by Bjergsen, and he ends up walking away 300 gold richer for it. 216 CS, 19 minutes into the game, 1-0-0 now. Sorcerer's Shoes, his only completed item alongside that Seraph's Embrace, and we've talked since the mid lane itemization changes about how the big winners feel to be those Archangels users, and Syndra more than happy to have that item going.
Yeah, definitely so. I was a little bit surprised, I have to say, though, that Syndra did not end up being more of a Ludens champ, and that to me kind of speaks to the strength just of this item. Because the combination of taking a defensive summoner like Heal plus Archangels is essentially giving you 2 defensive summoners, and there was. He did spot him on the ward before he actually went into the bush, so he just assesses out that timing, assumes that he is there, hits the Scatter of the Week, and just off
the cleanse to get away from it, but over the wall goes Mithy thanks to the pull. He's going to be in the middle of 3. It's Smoothie who may have this turned around. Svenskeren off the side, can't find the kill onto Mithy, and TSM's going to make that one 1 for 0.
Yeah, they decide to not actually TP and Licorice. He did use the Stand United, but I guess it got interrupted before he's able to come through, or just died straight through it. But TSM, they're posturing around Baron here. It is post 20 minutes. This would be a risky one to go for. They are just going to go back to base, take their 1 kill, and head back with that.
It's post 20 minutes, and we're 200 gold apart between these two teams that have been so historically evenly matched, and that just means we're hopefully in for a long, bloody one. It'll be a lot of fun. Exactly the way you want to see them play out here in week number 8. Let's take a look at how they managed to get this fight, though.
Yeah, so it's C9 around Baron, looking to establish division control. They see the blitz. They decide to go straight over onto him, and you know, Smoothie thinks that he can kind of turn this around here onto Mithy. They see the cleanse, they know someone is over the wall, they're going to be able to hit the hook onto Mithy, but Mithy says, I have more members here. So he just goes forward, hits the play, pulls in the box, and they're able to actually knock down Smoothie because TSM just had more men in position. Had Svenskeren been there, that would have been a dead thresh, but he was not.
Ion ulti pop, doesn't really find anything with it. Gonna be taunted up on the front line. Pulled right back into the back so C9 can continue the DPS. That's the kind of pull you're looking for. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, you say you don't want to pull that Scion, but when you hit the taunt, when you're putting him that much damage, they block the Lantern, then pull him back in. He's so separated from the team, they're able to focus him down. So despite the fact that it's TSM initiating that play, because of the global disadvantage, it's C9 that come out ahead. And that was any scenario, unless you can catch out Sneaky completely and burst him down or something before Shen can come through, you don't get to go for any plays.
And that's the name of the game now for TSM, is finding some way to make those plays. Bjergsen again, dialing it in and finds Svenskeren.
And Haunter has actually roamed down, so Licorice needs to start hoping it over here. He has no TP. Bjergsen, again, scatters the weak, knocks Sven out of the stealth, and they're going to start up Baron. This is a jungler to no jungler. The mid lane may go down here for TSM. A C9 needs to try to get over here and prevent this Baron from being taken. It is still 4v5, both carries on the table. This is still very risky for TSM.
TSM wanting to get this if they can. Instead, it's going to be starting off now. Both supports under fire. Smoothie barely walking himself away. Sven grabbing the kill onto him as Mithy will slightly survive the encounter. Baron to 1K. Mike Young secures it for TSM. And Cloud9's got no way to put up a fight.
Yeah, nicely done there by TSM. The pick from Bjergsen, starting it all, taking down Svenskeren means they can just go over to the Baron and again, barely go and group back up with the team, and they're trying to make a concerted 5-man push to really put pressure on this turret. So they want to bring the takedown, who can absorb more of the shots, who can step forward and kind of body block there, force Sven and Bjergsen to get damage forward. And look at Haunter moving forward, trying to create space for his carries.
Nice pull. Smoothie able to make it onto Mithy, but instead going to be bursted down by Bjergsen. C9 loses one member, almost about to lose two. Sneaky's going to be chain CC'd right down. A double kill for TSM's mid lane, make it 3 for the side of TSM as they break the base wide open. Grab themselves inhibitor turret number 1. The inhib will follow shortly thereafter. Jensen hangs around, tries to put up a bit of a fight, but it looks like it won't be enough. A couple more hits to take that one down will do it. TSM grab inhib number 1, 29.
They're actually just looking to end the game here, Flowers. There's 24 seconds on Sneaky. They're looking to have a 30-minute victory here. Make a statement.
Jensen barely gets himself away from that one, having to pop the cleanse to evade the hook. Mithy dials in that CC once more, gonna be pulled back. Smoothie trying to make those hero plays, find the defense. Svenskeren on the side.
Turret's
also
gone.
looking to provide the damage with those missiles. Bjergsen has to walk out from this one, taken very low. Svenskeren jumps over the wall. TSM will not find the Nexus yet.
But Svenskeren can continue to slow them. They have TP here on Licorice and a very deep pink ward in the bottom lane. They can continue to chase this and try to corral them in if they want to look for a play, but it looks as though C9 has called it off. They will back out. But it is both Nexus turrets down.
9 team to pop that, and he feels so fearless. You can see how far forward he positions himself just in Smoothie's face because he knows there's nothing they can do.
And from behind with a Blitzcrank, it gets very tough because you do not have vision control. They see where you are coming from, and if they can see you at the pro level, it's very unlikely you will get that hook because there's 3 members from TSM who can step in front and take that as bodyguards. There is the Banshee's Veil, as you pointed out. So there's essentially one target for Smoothie, and there's 4 people standing in front of that target.
Cloud9 still not willing to allow TSM to dictate everything this game. They want to move up, try to make something happen, but it's Mithy. He goes fishing and he catches exactly what he's looking for. Bjergsen goes unstoppable as Sneaky pops the QSS to get himself away. Cloud9, though, having lost their jungler, are once again in an incredibly bad spot. Licorice getting himself taken down now as Bjergsen 6-0-3, 9 out of 10 kill participation on this Syndra, running amok this game.
That was just a terrible teleport from Licorice. He uses the Stand United on Sven, who got caught. He immediately TPs in, but he TP'd into the middle of TSM, gives up his life there as well, plus 2 globals, and this is going to be a Baron, uncontestable for TSM with an exposed Nexus and C9. It's looking grim.
C9 will have their team back in fighting shape, but that is about it. Now they've still got to continue.
Oh, there's 2 banners.
Oh no, that's the worst,
man.
Feels bad. They tried it, but it didn't quite end up defending everything. Now bottom lane inhib swiftly will be taken down. Smoothie takes some more damage yet again. Looking to go in, find the pulse. Smoothie's already almost dead. Licorice into the back line. Bjergsen's going to be locked down. This is exactly what they need, but they don't have the damage to do it. Jensen having to use the ult to protect himself. Bjergsen goes godlike. Sven's going to go on a killing spree, and TSM will lock it down right here. Licorice stumbles away humbly, I should say, as now TSM will push right onto that naked Nexus, take down an old rival, and win this game in style.
And what a dominant game from Bjergsen. 7-0-6 on the Syndra, crushing it, finding pick after pick, back-to-back Scatter of the Weeks on an invisible Kha'Zix from Bjergsen, finding those picks, and the second one leading to the Baron, which really blew the game wide open there for TSM.
We're talking about TSM. We're talking about how this team looked rocky at the start of the split. Things weren't going the way people expected based on this roster and based on